Now on to part two of the SE30 shenanigans. Now, since I got the one machine fixed and out the door, I need to work on the battery bombed one. So, as you remember, we've got this metal chassis here that's just completely gone. And then we have this floppy drive holder, which is not terrible, but it needs a bit of attention. So, I got a friend of mine in town who can actually do powder coating and sandblasting and all that stuff. So, I'm going to send that down to him to get sandblasted. Hopefully it doesn't punch a hole in the metal, but we'll find out. So we're going to send that off to get sandblasted, and when it returns, I'll pick up the video. Alright, so the chassis is back from soda blasting. Everything's all nice and clean. Time to spray it with some galvanizing compound right there. This is an old plasma TV anyway, so I don't really care about it, so we're all good. Alright, so we're going to let that sit for a bit and see what we get. So I have the floppy drive housing also hit with galvanized spray, and you can see it's a little wet right there. It's drying off right now. And the chassis has also been sprayed, and it's drying off right now, baking in the sun. So I think we're going to be alright. Is it factory original? No. But it's certainly a lot better than having all that rust down there, right? So we should be good to go. Alright, so now we're left with this mess. After we got the first one fixed, we're left with mix and match parts from the battery bombed unit. So we went ahead and, sprayed all of that. Got this soda blasted, came back, got it all sprayed, and it actually looks really good. I mean, you could tell it's not factory, but compared to a big rust stain that was there, it's acceptable. So I think we're just going to go ahead and start putting this back together. Remember, we had to steal the floppy drive and all of that for the other unit, so I've got to get something put together for this one. And the hard drive bracket is not, that's going in the trash. That's going to go away. I don't need that. I've got a few extras anyway, so that's going to go away. And we got to find a drive to put in this thing, which is a little bit easier said than done. Also, we have the issue with the motherboard. So, alright, we're going to go ahead and get this guy put back together and start getting this thing working, because I've never physically had an actual battery bombed machine, so it'll be cool to actually see this thing run again. So I think this is the one we're going to go with. I think this is out of an LC3 or something. In fact, I think this came from an LC3 of mine that the motherboard went bad in, so I stripped it out and put a different board and different all that in it. So it's a spare drive, I think. If not, I'm going to find out really quickly. But I think it's spare. So we're just going to take you and install you in the bracket. The other thing I noticed right away is this CRT yoke is missing a couple correction magnets. So the geometry is going to be off. So I got to go harvest those from somewhere to get that fixed properly. I think I've got a 12-inch CRT that came from the free pile at VCF Southeast last year that I can probably steal the magnets off of that and get all of that dialed in properly. But Anyways, so the chassis is back in there and we're good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this drive put back in um the plate. But actually, before I can do that, I'm getting ahead of myself. I gotta service this drive, so I need to do that first. And I've already made many videos on that in the past, so I'm just gonna skip ahead here. Floppy drive reinstalled. I had to go through my stash and try to find some ribbon cables. So I found one, and then I found that one, which might be a bit too long, but it's Apple branded and it should work. And I used a little bit of this Zep cleaner to try to clean the CRT off a little bit. So next I need to get this analog board in, and there's a time gap between the two recordings of videos, so my memory is failing me a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I already resoldered most of this stuff. I have. It's all been taken care of, so alright, I'm going to go ahead and reinstall that analog board, get it in place, and then we need to move on to the motherboard. Now with the analog board installed, well, now comes the fun part. What are we going to do about that? Now fortunately, it appears like the main custom ICs are okay, like the glue logic, the SWIM, the SCSI looks a little rough, but all of the important main chips, the PALs, ADB, all that stuff is okay. The rear ports are fine, no corrosion. The metal retaining stuff is okay. All that is basically okay. I mean, there's some stuff missing where there was parts taken off this board from someone else before I got it. But overall, the board is okay. I mean, it's completely damaged, and actually, it looks like this thing might have been powered on. See that? Might have been powered on with it destroyed like that. So, unfortunately, that board is not going to work as is, right? We're going to have to do a different solution in this case. So, enter the reloaded board. Now, I did this one in green on purpose just so it looks kind of original. So this is the one that I built 2-3 years ago. I did a YouTube video on, and I didn't have a machine to put it in. I just kind of built it for fun with some bad, motherboards. So this is the perfect opportunity to reuse this board. So I can just go ahead and get a battery in it because it's a coin cell, and everything, it's all perfect condition. The ports, all that stuff's been installed, everything's ready to go. So I think this would make a great board for a machine like this. And then I have the other board that I can reuse to make another reloaded board down the line if I want to, or I can reuse the parts to fix boards, that kind of thing. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and get some RAM in here, and we're going to try to get this guy in this machine. Now, I don't remember if this is the weak CRT or not. We're going to find out. We still got to figure this problem out. So, yeah, let's get this installed, and we're going to at least do a first-time power-up and see what happens. Here we go. It's either going to work or it's not. Boo! Wow, that's actually fairly bright. Turn you down. So we have insufficient horizontal width, but I'm not so worried about that right now. I don't really need the correction magnets, not really. But that's not good. Doesn't like that RAM, that much I know, so we're going to have to go through my stash and see if I got some RAM, because that RAM is no good. Pretty sure that RAM was from the original board too, so it was untested. So I just pulled the RAM out, and you can kind of see what's going on here. See that? So we have that, and then we have that one's just as bad. And then, yeah, so that's why this stuff's not working. I mean, the chips themselves could be problematic, but I tell you, what I think I'm going to probably do real quick, just to try it, is I'm going to go ahead and just take some sandpaper to those contacts, clean that up and try it again and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, it's going in my junk stash, and I'm going to have to try to find some more Sims. Unfortunately, I saw some rust and corrosion on the chips, so there ain't no way they're going to work. I went ahead and went in my stash and got some more 1 megabyte Sims, because that's all I have is 1 megabyte Sims right now. So, and these are getting hard to find and expensive. So anyways, got that in there, so hopefully that solves my problem. And I'll take the other sticks and throw them in my bad stash, because I can still use the good chips off of it for other things, right? So yeah, we're going to go ahead and just run with that and see what happens there. Does it work this time? I don't know, we'll see. Yay, it does. And there it is. Perfect. Love it. Now I gotta go grab a floppy disk. And do I have one here? No, I don't. Grab a floppy disk and make sure it all works. I need to adjust that raster, because it's not quite right. No. But that's easy to do. I have the tools to do that. But hey, there we go. We have a battery bombed machine back from the dead. Here comes the real test. That's a good sign. Floppy drive's good, and my service work is good. But that raster size is driving me nuts. It's not right. So I got to adjust that out. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is we need to adjust the width and the height. Now, these are the tools that I use, and this should fit in this coil. You do not want to use anything that isn't plastic in this coil, or you will shatter the core. So you got to have the right tools. You can't use like an Allen key. So we're gonna stretch you out to the right spot, which is about right there. So we got you in the right spot, give or take. Now the other thing we need to do is adjust the height, which is right here. Yeah, that's not really working so well. There we go. So I think that is the right. That's it right there. I'm trying to match the burn-in. There. That's the correct adjustment for that CRT. So I'm a little bit high on this end, and that is probably the fact that we're missing the magnets right there, but honestly, that's doable. I'm okay with that. The point is, this machine is fully functioning. There's no issues, so I can just go ahead and shut you down, make sure it ejects. It does. There we go. So now, I think the next thing we need to do is we need to get a hard drive in there. I could put a blue SCSI in there, but you know what? I have a hard drive from the previous machine that I can just throw in here. I'm not keeping this machine. I'm fixing this one up to sell because I've got so many of these. I don't need any more of them. But I think we'll just go ahead and throw a hard drive in there, because at least it's original to the SE30 to begin with, and then we'll just use that, set it up with a clean install of System 7, and kick it on down the line, I think. Alright, so disk copy tools is mounted. We have the hard drive installed, the one we worked on earlier and did the rubber repairs on, because why not? I'm just going to go ahead and initialize it with the Apple tool, because it's an Apple drive. Why is it like weird? Huh. Okay. Strange. Yeah, that's a weird one. Huh. Well, I'll have to work through that. Alright, so let's try this again. I used Lido and rebooted it halfway in the middle of formatting. Let's see if that works. Yeah, there we go. Lido, for some reason, the disk driver was blocking this software from working. So here we go. Now we're going to format the drive and do the System 7 install. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And there we go. Disk initialization completed successfully. So now I can get System 7 installed, and move on from there. Is this one locked? Yes, it is. So there we go. Get rid of you. When we're going to do a actual install. Let's see. System disks. System 7.1 installer. Let's see. It's an 800K disk image, but no, we don't need that. Nope. Install. Here we go. Good enough. Alright, so there we go. We have a nice fresh copy of System 7.1 installed. And a functional hard drive. For how long, nobody knows. But you know what? The point is, it works. And that's all I really wanted to do with this machine, is just get it working in a basic state. I might put a few little utilities on there for someone to use, and then I'm going to kick it down the line. So it's all good. Hard drive works, everything works, and floppy drive works, the floppy emulator works, and I think that's going to do it. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and all of that fun stuff. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching.